So welcome folks to this week's video. In this week's video I have taken my 4x5 camera and 6x17 back into Glastonbury Festival on the last day. I wasn't going to do it, I was unsure because I'd taken my Besser R2 and I'd spent a few days in the festival just shooting around with that, which is going to be another video on what I've done with that. But this video is all about the 4x5 experience I had at Glastonbury Festival, which was, spoiler alert, amazing. So what I've basically done is I've taken my 6x17 back in because I wanted a picture of the pyramid stage, and I managed to capture that in black and white, and I wanted to get colour shot at sunset, but unfortunately I couldn't. I was in the middle of the crowd at the Elton John sort of closing bit, and it was rammed. There was no way I was ever going to get out of that alive with my 4x5, so I had to give up my sunset photo. However, what I did manage to get, which was completely out of my comfort zone, but I loved every minute of it, was I managed to pounce on 9 unsuspecting Elton John fans in their finest Elton John attire, and basically ask them if they wouldn't mind me taking their photo in exchange for sending their photo, obviously for free, which I'm in the middle of doing, and basically they all obliged. In fact, I had people coming up to me asking me to take their photo in the end, which was amazing, and I had to start turning people away because I only actually had 10 sheets of film. Like I said, I got 9 shots because our middlest child, he wanted a photo also midway through, so I had to oblige him and get a photo of him also. But I managed to get 9 random strangers in their Elton John outfits, which was, must say, completely out of my comfort zone, but I loved every minute of approaching them people. Now, there's a couple of issues with the video. The first one is I'm going to apologise now for my bright green shirt, which had guitars and pineapples on it. You're just going to have to live with that, but it is my finest shirt. The second issue is I've had to mute a lot, well, pretty much all of the video because it's just a minefield of copyright issues, because obviously the music blaring in the background, it's got copyright strike written all over it. So there's going to be a lot of silence for that, which I'm going to play some music over, and it'll be a bit of commentary for me about the photos itself. So let's get into this video. Now, I just want to interject here and say, yes, you did just see that. That was my 6x17 back wearing a beanie hat and rocking it. But the reason why is because I did have some light leaks on it. On a previous video I talked about it, and I think what it was is I hadn't actually attached the 6x17 back to the back of the camera properly, and that was letting in light, and I think that was the reason why. But just in case, I wanted to make sure that I didn't get that again, so I put a beanie hat on the top of it to make sure that the back was in darkness. And thankfully none of these images have got any light leaks, so it did work even though it looked stupid. So yeah, on with the video. So that was the end of my 6x17 shots I did. My favourite is this one here, which is the one with the lady singing. I don't actually know her name, the singer. For me, this is the Chicks. Used to be the Dixie Chicks, but now known as the Chicks. But yeah, I like this one because of the fact that I managed to capture her singing, obviously up to a microphone. on both of the big screens there. I just like all the flags and stuff that's going on there. The other thing I'd change about this photo is Glastonbury Tour was just off the screen here. I'd like to have got that in. The issue I had was a nice tree screen van just on this side. So if I'd have moved round to get that in, I'd have ended up shifting the stage off centre and probably ended up getting a new screen truck, which didn't really want. So yeah, but I really like them shots. I'm really pleased with how they came out. What I had to do with them is to shoot them down at sort of F16, F11 sort of territory, because what I wanted to do is to capture the action, freeze it as much as I possibly could do. So I think these shots were ranging at about 125th to 250th of a second, which has managed to capture the action sort of dead rather than it being blurred. So that was that portion of the images. No filters used on any of these shots. They're just straight as it is, and they've been developed by myself in Ilfsol free because I haven't got any DDX left. So yeah, quite happy with how they came out. Yeah, pleased with them. So now on to the best bit, which is these random people in their finest attire. So I hope you enjoyed that 4x5 experience that you've just seen, because I certainly enjoyed going around and pouncing on them people. They just looked amazing, gone all out. In fact, my favourite shot is of these two ladies here with the flag that they brought as well. They were just amazing. They were wearing something different when I pounced on them. They walked past. I saw them, and I just sort of approached them and said, "Look, do you mind if I take a photo? You guys look amazing. I've got a film camera." They were blah blah blah. And what they actually said to me was, "Oh, we're not even changed yet." And so they went off and got changed and then came back. And this is what this is what they came back wearing. And I just thought they looked amazing. And I love the fact that they bought a flag with their faces on. That's just amazing. Now, what I want to say about this and approaching people like that, and a couple of things, as a newbie to this, because I know there's a lot of people out there that sort of think, I can never approach somebody, I just wouldn't be comfortable doing it, is that a couple of tips really that I have learned, and I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination, like I say, is outside of my comfort zone. Trust me, I like being in the middle of nowhere on my own, taking photos of landscapes, not jumping on people at festivals and harassing them, asking them for a photo. So just what I would say about doing it, if you're a little bit nervous and that sort of thing, I would say that look for easy opportunities. And what I mean by easy opportunities is try to read people's body language as you see them off in the distance. So I was looking quite a way down this path in either direction, and people around me as well as people in the immediate crowd after the path, to look to see, were they happy and smiling? Were they obviously dressed up? Were they, did they look like they're up to have their photo taken? And what I mean by that is, look, if you're out, say you've gone into, I don't know, a city centre and you want to grab 10 people to take a shot of, obviously, the obvious ones to stay away from is people that look like they're having a bad day, perhaps. They're on their phone. Perhaps they've got headphones in. They look like they don't want to be bothered. Or they look like they're late for something, or they're rushing around going to work or whatever. Perhaps just pick people that look like they're, just sort of having a lazy day, wandering around, smiling, looking happy, and that are going to oblige a photo if you ask them. And when you do ask them, it's just a case of approaching, just explaining you're a photographer, and that you either do it as a hobby or you do it professionally. Obviously, you're not looking to charge them, unless of course you are, but you're less than likely to get a photo if you're going to charge them, of course. But so 9 times out of 10, I would say the majority out there probably won't be charging. But obviously, just explain that it's free, you don't want anything for it, and what you're willing to do is if they supply their email address or and you can send them the photo afterwards, as long as it comes out. Obviously explain if you're shooting film that you've got to develop it. It might not come out, you don't know what the image looks like until you actually get it back. But I'm happy because all of my images came out, so I was really happy with that. Obviously if they hadn't, I'd have still emailed that person saying, look, really thanks for letting me take a photo. Unfortunately the image didn't come out, failed in developing or whatever you think's gone on. However, like I say, these have all come out, but like I say, just approach, be polite, ask them. If they say no, just say thank you very much and walk away. Don't harass them any more than that. Just approach, be nice, don't harass them if they say no, and just obviously understand that if you have grabbed somebody away and they're willing to have their photo taken, just explain to them the process. So obviously when I got these people, I knew where I wanted them to stand, because I got our little one to sort of stand in a similar spot so I could focus it in, so I knew roughly where I was. I'd already taken a light reading around the scene, so I knew sort of where I needed to be with the shutter speed, etc. And so when they came over, I just sort of explained to them, look, what I'm going to do is, it's a film image I'm taking. I'm going to put a dark cloth over, I'm going to focus it in, and I'm going to take the dark cloth away, and I'm going to put the film holder in, take the slide out, and then I'll count you down to 3 before I press the shutter, and on 3 I'll press the shutter, and you make whatever pose you want, be as comfortable as you want, and do whatever you want, but as mad as you want. You just go all out. So that's sort of what I said to him, and I just had a bit of fun, made sure I was smiling all the time, and everyone was happy to oblige. So I couldn't ask for anything more, and I absolutely loved it. So yes, if you guys are a little bit nervous about doing that out there, but you fancy giving it a go, just give it a go. Just make sure that when you are, just take your time to look about, or wait a little bit for that right person to come along that you think looks like they will oblige you in a photo, So there is certain signs, obvious signs you can look out for people to stay away from and people to perhaps approach. So they're my sort of beginner tips, being sort of a beginner myself into this sort of thing, and just a couple of things that I learned from actually just doing this out in the field. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I definitely enjoyed making it. I absolutely loved making it, to be honest, yeah, and I'm certainly going to be doing a lot more of this sort of thing with my 4x5. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, please leave a like, helps me out massively, and a subscription to the channel, even better, helps me out massively. So thanks for watching. Leave me a comment. I always read them. I always get back to people, even though if it does take me a couple of days, I do apologise for that, but I do always get back to everybody. Yeah, appreciate that. And until the next one, I'll see you guys again. Thanks for watching.